Numerous transformations are approaching for New England, and it is crucial that certain issues are addressed. Therefore, it is essential to explore this today, focusing on the question and answer segment following the arrival of a notable player to the Patriots and the upcoming NFL draft pick. Conversations about the Patriots and the Boston Celtics will deepen throughout the year on various platforms, where excerpts from longer programs will be shared in more digestible segments. Now, let's delve into the questions. A question arose about the need to select a kicker in the draft or whether a trade should be considered, especially since a particular player signed with another team. The answer is that the possibility of a trade to acquire a kicker exists, but no specific names can be suggested at this time. However, choosing a kicker in the draft could be a viable alternative. What should definitely not be considered is moving up in the draft simply to pick a player and then cut them after a year. It was believed that the tenure of a certain player with the Patriots would not last, especially after a disappointing season, one of the worst since their rookie year. With that player now on another team, the trend to select a kicker in the draft seems sensible, particularly given the 3 seventh-round picks that could be used for special teams at this point in the draft. If there is a trade possibility, it would be reasonable to part with only one of those 7th-round picks. Another question was related to a specific player, and the analysis is that a trade could be considered, but only if the other two athletes are healthy. One underwent ankle surgery after the last season, with the team initially stating it was just a bone bruise, but it turned out to be more severe. The other had legal issues last year, which have now been resolved, generating expectations for their return this season. Additionally, a new player has been signed, and there is strong appreciation for that player's abilities. There is belief that great potential exists in that player, and it is suggested to keep them on the reserve list as they could play an effective role behind the other two athletes. Furthermore, another player really stood out when both of the other players were unavailable at the end of last season. If there is consideration to trade any defensive players, the focus should be on reducing the linebacker group before making any changes to the secondary. Will the Patriots make it to the playoffs this season? I foresee the team clinching a wild card position. I aim to be realistic while evaluating the team's prospects. I genuinely think they have what it takes to triumph in a wild card matchup, and that would be incredible. However, I'm not raising my expectations too high. With a coach of Mike Vrabel's caliber and all the recent additions to both the offense and defense, I predict a season record of 7 wins and 10 losses. I truly believe that achieving 7 victories is within reach. Mike Vrabel will play a significant role in shaping this team to secure a wild-card playoff win, but numerous elements will need to align favorably during the regular season for that to occur. Still, I view it as a distinct possibility and hope it comes to fruition. The subsequent question is whether targeting Tyler Lockett would be a smart choice. Initially, there was enthusiasm for this before the team acquired another player. The prospect of bringing Lockett on board remains intriguing, as generally, there are no detrimental moves for the team in free agency aimed at bolstering the wide receiver group, apart from one particular player who would not fit well. Tyler Lockett could function as a valuable veteran addition and a capable number 2 wide receiver, given his past performances with a different team. I believe he could effectively complement the current standout. Signing Lockett at an appropriate cost appears to be a viable option, and it is crucial to avoid overspending as happened before, even though the necessity of that decision is acknowledged. Nonetheless, it is essential to keep in mind that there have already been signings made, and several players remain on the roster. I'm open to bringing Lockett on board for a reasonable deal. However, I wouldn't want to overpay for him like what happened with another player, even though I recognize the importance of that move. With Lockett, I am receptive to the idea, especially since there have already been acquisitions of other wide receivers, plus some promising draft prospects. That said, I don't see Lockett as essential considering the emerging depth chart. Additionally, there are players having noteworthy seasons with a new coaching staff. While labeling it as a breakout year might be an exaggeration, I anticipate they will perform better this time around, thanks to the presence of seasoned players in the wide receiver group. One individual even expressed enthusiasm about joining the squad, which I believe will be beneficial for developing and supporting the younger players, particularly as they navigated challenges in their debut year. There was never complete transparency regarding the dynamics between the coaching staff and one specific player, but I doubt it was a positive relationship, as the player was often underutilized, resulting in frequent inactivity. Recent updates suggest a solid connection is forming, and there's considerable interest in the potential of this player. Consequently, I think that irrespective of the scenario, it will be a more favorable year for both players, though whether it will be a breakout season remains in question. I am genuinely eager to witness how this new offensive scheme will impact the two players who struggled last year. This leads me to ask, which position should the team prioritize in the upcoming draft? I would be keen to hear your perspectives. With the draft taking place on April 24th, we are approximately 1 month away. It seems quite unlikely. I truly sense that the decisions made during this draft will extend to the very last minute. I don't foresee the team having a definitive idea of who they will choose with their 4th pick until they are officially on the clock, which adds excitement, but also some nerves. Should certain players be available, they will certainly be contenders. I have a strong feeling that decisions for this draft will go down to the wire. I don't believe there will be a clear consensus on whom to select with the 4th pick until they are really on the clock, which is both thrilling and somewhat stressful. If particular players are still in play, they will definitely be picked. If other teams take certain prospects, I think the team will have a few options to consider. Thankfully, the decision won't rest on a single person's shoulders, which can ease some of the pressure. Another inquiry that has arisen concerns the situation surrounding the 4th pick. It has been suggested that they won't halt their strategy due to certain factors, but do you think they might be gearing up for a particular scenario if a specific player is on the board? If that player is available with the 4th pick, they certainly won't let him pass to the 5th pick, and I can say that with a high level of confidence. While I have not communicated with anyone in the football department, it's worth noting that there are additional wide receivers in the draft outside of the most prominent names. The current promotion offers a $25 discount, allowing you to get 2 products for $35, which is a great opportunity. It's crucial to secure these items while sizes are still available, as the weather begins to improve, allowing everyone to wear them anywhere in New England. Therefore, it's recommended that you purchase your shirts now, with free shipping on orders over $35. Regarding a recent signing, a player has already signed with another team, making their acquisition impossible. The organization expressed interest and made an offer, but the player decided to join another team, which seemingly offers more at the moment. While the team is developing, the other organization also performed well last season, making the search for reinforcements a bit more complex. As such, the team will likely choose an offensive tackle in the 1st round of the NFL draft. Regarding the possibility of the team making a trade to acquire 2 specific players, this seems complicated. Although the idea sounds attractive, there are several factors that could complicate this deal. It's feasible for the team to sign a new player for the offensive line and then select one of the desired athletes. The personal preference would be for one player over another, but it's not believed that this strategy would work during the NFL draft. It would be great if it worked, but the reality tends to be different. As for a player participating in the live broadcast, the question that arises is whether the team should consider a trade involving another athlete or continue negotiations with a third. A trade involving the first player mentioned is not anticipated, as it does not seem like a move the team would make. There's a lot of talk about the possibility of negotiating the 3rd player for a 3rd-round pick, but there's also a desire to keep them, as they believe he could become a viable option as a reserve in the future. Overall, the intention would be to negotiate the 3rd player instead of the 1st, as the 3rd seems to have more market value at this point, even though one of them doesn't have as much prominence. The team is evaluating the possibility of trading a 3rd-round pick, but also has reservations about moving the 3rd player, as they believe he could be a valuable reserve option in the future. The personal preference would be to trade the 3rd player, aware that he likely holds more value at this moment, even though the other has a longer career in the league. The potential trade involving the 3rd player will certainly be interesting, and it will be curious to see what the team can secure in return. Now, about the draft, there is an opportunity to select a running back, especially considering that we currently have only 2 on the roster. Typically, 3 running backs are enough, and while having 4 is an option, That fourth would likely only serve as a practice position filler. Last season, we had a player who was rarely used. If we choose to select a running back, it should happen in the later rounds, perhaps between the 5th and 7th. We have 3 picks in the 7th round, but no pick in the 6th round this year. It's feasible to select a running back, but it is not a priority in the first 3 rounds, as there are more urgent needs to address before considering a third running back. Expectations for one of the running backs are high this year, and it is believed he shares that sentiment, while the other proved to be a solid reserve last season. The signing of a third-string running back is not a priority at the moment. Speaking about trade possibilities, there is still a tendency to trade for a specific player. The arrival of a new player may open some opportunities for a possible deal involving another. It is believed that all these possibilities remain open. There is still a chance for a trade, especially considering that a franchise is seeking a quarterback, and it is unlikely that many fans would want to see the player mentioned in that role. Additionally, there is still the option to sign a player, but it is expected that his expectations won't be similar to another player's, as these situations are quite different. While this player might be a trade target, the preference would be to search for someone specific, especially considering the presence of a veteran on the roster. The situation surrounding Stefon Diggs is quite peculiar and could indeed lead to a trade. However, I wouldn't want him to have such a high salary. Therefore, I would probably opt to trade for a player like Jakobi Meyers. If we already have an experienced player, I would probably prefer to bring in someone younger rather than another veteran, such as Brandon Ayuk. I have some regard for Ave, but I'm not particularly fond of his concussion injury history. Still, I'd be open to both possibilities, in fact. Another question that came up concerns my favorite free agency signing. I have 2 names in mind, Spain and Williams. I have great admiration for Williams, appreciate Spain, and also like Landry and Stefon Diggs. There are several excellent signings available for the team, and I hope some surprises emerge in the plans. However, my choice really falls on Stefon Diggs. I didn't expect to land a receiver of such high caliber this year. Honestly, I didn't foresee that. So, recognition to Diggs for making my expectations a reality. If you're excited for the 2025 season, feel free to show your support. If you haven't done so already, a gesture of support would also help strengthen this channel. And don't forget to subscribe. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Imagine the New England Patriots bolstering their offensive line with one of the NFL's most dominant players, a 4-time Pro Bowler who has already rewritten the history books. The rumors surrounding Tristan Wirfs potentially making the leap from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to the Patriots have set the NFL world buzzing, and for good reason. This isn't just a typical free agent signing. This is a seismic shift that could reshape New England's entire offensive strategy. Tristan Wirfs, the 6 feet 5 inches powerhouse, was drafted 13th overall by the Buccaneers in 2020 and immediately made an impact, starting all 16 games as a rookie and allowing just 1 sack. Since then, his career trajectory has been nothing short of spectacular. 4 consecutive Pro Bowls and a Super Bowl victory in his rookie season are just the beginning of his storied career. Now, as the highest-paid offensive lineman in NFL history with a $140.63 million contract extension in 2024, the idea of him leaving Tampa Bay is nothing short of stunning. The question arises, why would a player of Wirfs' caliber entertain a move? The Patriots have long been known for their ability to nurture talent and build championship-caliber teams, and with their offensive line needing reinforcements, Wirfs could be the game-changing addition. The prospect of Wirfs stepping into the left tackle position, where he has already shown his versatility in 2024, would elevate New England's offense in ways few can imagine. With Wirfs' exceptional skill set, his presence could finally provide Mac Jones with the protection and time he desperately needs to elevate his own game. However, the logistics of such a move would be complicated. The Buccaneers, having just extended Wirfs, will be loath to let their star lineman go easily, and the price for a player of his caliber would be steep. New England, known for its shrewd decision-making, would need to offer something compelling enough to sway Tampa Bay's front office. The challenge lies not only in the financials, but also in the timing of a potential trade or free agency move. Will the Patriots be willing to take such a calculated risk? Regardless of the hurdles, the very thought of Wirfs joining the Patriots should ignite excitement among fans. With a player like him in New England's corner, the team could instantly reclaim its identity as a powerhouse in the AFC. Will this rumor turn into reality, or is it just another off-season story to keep us on our toes? One thing is for sure, if Wirfs becomes a Patriot, the NFL landscape will never be the same. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.